Two lawyers in Ondo State want President Muhammadu Buhari to set up a panel of inquiry to investigate allegations of improper award of oil contracts worth $25 billion. Remi Olotubora and Emmanuel Femi are also kicking against the call for the suspension of the Minister of State for Petroleum, Kachikwu. They say any such move will discourage whistleblowing.
If you want to encourage whistleblowing, you don't begin to take action that looks as if you are punishing an individual for blowing the whistle. Let the President Buhari ask Baru to step aside, investigate the allegation made against Baru and his associate. Up to this moment, there has been no reaction from Baru. So we now have a president who appears to be fighting corruption, and under his authority, an individual awarded contract worth 25 billion USD without passing the true process. It's a big challenge to the president.
You are now asking the Minister for State who blew the trumpet to step aside for what? At the end of the day, what are you going to achieve by the Senate investigation? Similar to what you achieved when they investigated or conducted investigation into Babachalawa allegation. Need a judicial panel of inquiry that will be free from the interference of the executive. I think Mr. President should be very careful about how he handles this matter, because Nigerians and the entire world are looking.
Now, still on that development consultant Kach Ononuju is joining us via Skype to talk more on this. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, what was your initial reaction when you heard of this $25 billion, scam, in quote, in the NNPC, where we have the president as the petroleum minister?
I was not surprised. I'm here in Abuja. At the time when the president traveled, some people were afraid, and there were lots of lootings in Abuja, that some people believed the president was not going to return. So I think it is that panic in anticipation of the president's passing that actually cost a lot of people. You've only just seen this at the NNPC. You're very, very likely to see a lot more of this replicated in a lot of government departments across the country. There was panic when the president took ill and went to London, and some believed he was not going to survive, he would not come, and that was when this happened. Now, secondly, we are very, very lucky that all we've been talking about cabal, we've now caught them red-handed with their hands in the soup. If President Buhari wants to actually show that he should be taken seriously, this is when he will show it. But of course, as they rightly say, this is actually the cabal that President Buhari appointed that now seized the apparatus of state and turned it against the people. This is actually a classic case of catching the thief with his hand in the tail. All right,
let me quickly come in here, Kach, because the Baru, that's my country Baru, and of course the NNPC have reacted to these allegations put forward by Kachikwu, and according to the two, the due process was followed in all of the allegations. Well, it was followed rather in the accusations that were leveled against the NNPC and of course Baru. So from what has been revealed now, are we saying that we're having, issues that have not been resolved properly in-house before it entered public? What do you think could be the scenario playing out here?
The due process was not followed. In some of the papers that are being serialized, we saw a note for the presidency to assent to it, and at the time the president was in acting capacity, Professor Usim Banjo. He said no, he was not going to do anything until he sees actions from the board. The board didn't do anything. Unless you could tell me that business for up to 9 trillion naira can be assented to without the involvement of the board and without a clearance from the president. This is totally not true. Of course, what do you expect Mr. Baru to say? This is a typical Nigerian game, but those rants and vituperations does not in any way vitiate the already established fact that he acted in contravention of the law. If Buhari is sincere, because we've seen this before, in the issue of the grass cutter, President Buhari did nothing. In the issue of his chief of army staff and the houses in Dubai, President Buhari did nothing. We also saw this in the issues about the MTN, where the chief of staff took money and then lessened the fine upon them. President Buhari did nothing. Don't also forget, despite all President Buhari's noise, no single conviction has been had in the past 2 years. So President Buhari's government is now being seen to be the most corrupt government in the history of Nigeria. He has to set purpose to actually reclaim the higher ground. As far as I'm concerned, Buhari's government is a fraud.
Oh, okay, trying to reclaim that. Now, many have actually said that we're hearing news, rather, that Baru and Kachikwu might just shake hands, hug, and make up. But is that what Nigerians want? And they, I mean, ain't they supposed to know what exactly happened? Are they just going to make up and forget about this, that it never happened? We have the right to know what actually happened. Do you think so?
Yes. This is President Buhari. He has been caught with his hand in the tail. Don't forget, this is a Nigerian politician. He's been using takia, deceit, to deceive the people. Suddenly now, we have caught Buhari's gang and their hands in the tail. What do you expect him to do? For him to show us that all that we hear, that he is not corrupt, Buhari must act now. If Buhari does not act now, the higher ground is lost, and forget about any cases of any prosecution of anybody. All he's been doing all along is prosecuting and harassing perceived political opponents. Of now we've caught the members of his cabal in their hands in the tail. Let Buhari now show us that all his rhetorics are not just rhetorics.
All right, let me quickly come in here, Kach Ononuju, because of the time. I'd like to thank you very much for all you've said on the news. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.